You know the feeling. You're awake, you've slept, you've had coffee, and your brain still feels like it's operating through fog. Slow, heavy, half speed. Here's what most people don't know. Your brain has a physical system designed specifically to clear that fog. It's not sleep, it's not caffeine, it's not water. It's a clearance system your brain runs automatically, when it's working properly. And most people have accidentally trained their brain to stop running it. This video explains what that system is, why it breaks down, and the 3 ways to switch it back on. Most people think brain fog is a tiredness problem. It isn't. Brain fog is a clearance problem. Here's what that means. Your brain produces metabolic waste constantly. Every thought, every decision, every hour you're awake. Proteins, inflammatory markers, cellular byproducts, all of it accumulating as your brain works. Your brain has a system for clearing that waste. It's called the glymphatic system. In plain terms, it's your brain's sewage network. And it runs primarily on 2 things, deep sleep and vagal tone. When both of those are working, the clearance system runs efficiently. Your brain feels sharp, fast, clear. When either of those breaks down, the waste builds up. The pathways get congested, and your brain operates through the residue of its own backlog. That backlog is what brain fog feels like. And here's the part that makes this counterintuitive. The things most people do to clear brain fog, more coffee, pushing through, staying busy, actively suppress the clearance system. They don't fix the backlog, they add to it. So why does the system stop working? 3 reasons. All related. First, chronic stress. When your stress system is chronically activated, cortisol stays elevated. Elevated cortisol suppresses the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is the main signal carrier between your brain and your body. It's how your brain regulates almost everything. Inflammation, digestion, heart rate, immune function. And it's how the brain signals the glymphatic system to run the clearance cycle. In plain terms, chronic stress tells your brain to stay in fight or flight. And in fight or flight, your brain doesn't clean. It prepares. Second, shallow breathing. Most people under stress breathe shallowly, short, high in the chest, rapid. Shallow breathing reduces vagal tone. Low vagal tone means the vagus nerve can't do its job properly. The clearance signal weakens. The backlog grows. Third, poor sleep architecture. The glymphatic system does most of its clearing during deep sleep, specifically slow-wave sleep. If your deep sleep is broken, and for most adults it is, the clearance cycle runs at reduced capacity every night. The waste that should be cleared at 2 a.m. is still there when you wake up. That's the fog you feel in the morning, not tiredness, but yesterday's backlog. Think about the last time you were in a meeting and couldn't track the conversation, or sat down to write something and had to read the same sentence 3 times, or made a decision you knew wasn't right, but couldn't think clearly enough to push back. That wasn't you being slow. That wasn't stress. That wasn't age. That was a backed-up clearance system running your most important organ at half capacity. And here's what makes this different from everything else you've tried. You don't need more sleep to fix this. You need to activate the system that clears the backlog. Those are 2 completely different things. Quick question, and be honest. When does your brain fog hit hardest? Quick question, and be honest. When does your brain fog hit hardest? 1. First thing in the morning before coffee. 2. Mid-afternoon around 2 or 3 p.m. 3. During important conversations or meetings. 4. All day. It's basically my baseline now. Drop your number. Because the answer tells me which part of the clearance system is breaking down for you specifically. Now stop. Before I give you the 3 methods, I need you to understand one thing. These aren't brain hacks. These aren't tips. Each one works because it directly activates the vagus nerve, which signals the glymphatic system to run. The mechanism is the same. The entry point is different. Use the one that fits your situation. Method 1. Physiological sigh. Double inhale through the nose. Short inhale, then a second short inhale on top. Then a long, slow exhale through the mouth. This is not a breathing exercise. It's the fastest known way to activate the vagus nerve. Researchers at Stanford found the physiological sigh reduces physiological arousal faster than any other breathing pattern. In plain terms, 1 breath, the right kind, and your vagal tone spikes. The clearance signal fires. You can do this right now. Mid-meeting. Before a difficult conversation. At your desk at 2 p.m. when the fog arrives. One breath, different outcome. Method 2. Cold water on the face, the diving reflex. When cold water contacts the face, particularly around the eyes and forehead, your brain triggers an ancient survival response. Heart rate slows, blood vessels constrict, vagal tone spikes. The exact same mechanism that clears fog in 90 seconds. Not a shower, not a splash, just cold water. Face, 15 seconds. It sounds too simple. The biology disagrees. Method 3. Humming or extended exhale. The vagus nerve runs through your vocal cords. Humming, or any extended exhale with resistance, vibrates the vocal cords and directly stimulates the vagus nerve. In plain terms, hum for 60 seconds. Your vagal tone increases. The clearance system activates. This sounds unusual, but the neuroscience is not. Monks have known this for centuries. Neuroscience has now explained why it works. These 3 methods work, but they're managing the backlog, not preventing it. The longer fix is the same thing we've covered in every video on this channel. Fix the sleep. Reduce the chronic cortisol. Stop suppressing the vagus nerve with stress, shallow breathing, and poor recovery. Brain fog isn't a willpower problem. It's not a coffee problem. It's not an age problem. It's a system problem. And systems have solutions. Brain fog isn't a tiredness problem. It's a clearance problem. And clearance has a switch. Most people just don't know where it is. Your brain isn't broken. It's backed up. The fog you've been living with. The slow thinking. The half-speed processing. The conversations you couldn't track. The decisions you second-guessed. Wasn't a limitation. It was a system running on a backlog that nobody told you how to clear. You have a clearance system. You have a vagus nerve. You have 3 ways to activate both that you can use right now. The fog is not permanent. It was never permanent. It was just waiting for you to find the switch. If you've been living with brain fog and nobody has explained it like this before, save this video. Come back to it when the fog hits. Share it with one person who keeps blaming their focus, their motivation, or their age for something that's actually a clearance problem. If you are not here to stay average, subscribe. Because this is what this channel does. Brain science, plain language, so you understand what's actually happening and what to do about it. And if you want to understand why the deep sleep backlog builds up in the first place, and why your glymphatic system might not be clearing at all, that video is right here. Watch it next. It completes this picture.